In the top stories, St. Kitts and Nevis launches Mental Health Service Systems Enhancement Project. U.S. sanctions Venezuelan officials over election repression. And Trump claims win on migration talks with Mexico. Shein Boam counters with collaboration message. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. I'm Scotty Hendrickson. Nationally, the Ministry of Health officially launched the Mental Health Service Systems Enhancement Project on Wednesday, marking a significant step towards strengthening mental health care in the Federation. This three-year initiative, undertaken in partnership with the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the International Cooperation and Development Fund, or ICDF, aims to expand mental health resources, train professionals, and improve access to services. Speaking at the launch event at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort, Prime Minister and Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, highlighted the importance of addressing mental health as a national priority. Quote, "Mental health is a fundamental human right," Drew stated. It is essential for personnel and national development, driving productivity and socioeconomic growth. Drew outlined the project's goals, including bridging gaps in prevention, early detection, and treatment of mental health disorders. He emphasized his administration's commitment to increasing the allocation of resources for mental health services, announcing plans for a new psychiatric unit as part of the Federation's upcoming hospital development. Expressing gratitude to Taiwan for its support, Dr. Drew described the project as a testament to the enduring partnership between the two nations. The Mental Health Service System Enhancement Project will run until August 2027, aiming to normalize mental wellness and reduce stigma around mental health disorders in St. Kitts and Nevis. In other local news, the St. Kitts and Nevis Technical and Vocational Education Training Council hosted a two-day meeting for Caribbean Association of National Training Authorities, or CANTA, at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, which wrapped up on Wednesday. Minister of Education Dr. Jeffrey Hanley spoke of the importance of TVET linked to the Sustainable Island State at the opening ceremony on Tuesday.
Our Twin Island Federation, St. Kitts and Nevis, has at its mandate to create a more innovative, inclusive, and sustainable country. This mandate can only be realized if we have a skill force to help build our sustainable island state. Therefore, technical and vocational education and training is a critical component and integral to us realizing our goal.
TVET, he said, aids the workforce and continues lifelong learning.
In a world defined by rapid technological advances, globalization, and the need for sustainable development, the connection between education, skills training, and employment has never been more critical. Our ability to adapt to the changing landscape depends on our commitment to empowering individuals with skills they need to thrive in the workforce while promoting lifelong learning.
He highlighted the benefits of TVET to regional development and commended CANTA. The St. Kitts Water Services Department has announced that the ongoing water service interruptions affecting Trevor Levine Drive and Frigate Bay Road will extend until approximately 2 p.m. today, Thursday, November 28, 2024. The disruption, which began on Wednesday, November 27, 2024, is due to urgent repairs to the distribution line. In a statement issued earlier today, the Water Services Department apologized for the inconvenience caused and assured customers that efforts are on the way to restore service promptly. Residents are encouraged to stay informed by following updates on the Water Services Department's Facebook page or visiting their official website. The department thanked the public for their patience and cooperation during this period. In regional news, the United States has sanctioned 21 allies of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, accusing them of repression following the disputed July presidential election. The sanctioned individuals announced Wednesday by the U.S. Treasury include top security and cabinet officials such as head of Corrections Agency, Intelligence Service, and the minister overseeing Maduro's office. The Biden administration last week recognized opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as Venezuela's president-elect. It is also imposed visa restrictions on individuals accused of suppressing dissent after the election, in which Maduro claimed victory without releasing vote tallies. Gonzalez, who fled to Spain in September amid an arrest warrant, asserts he won by a wide margin. Meanwhile, Maduro's government continues to resist international pressure, and a proposed Venezuelan law seeks to criminalize support for sanctions, labeling them crimes against humanity. Despite repeated U.S. sanctions, Maduro loyalists remain entrenched in power, limiting the impact of these measures. In other regional news, CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Burnett has called on the Council for Trade and Economic Development to adopt realistic and practical decisions that the entire community can depend on. Speaking at the opening of the 59th regular meeting of COTED on Wednesday, 27 November 2024, at the CARICOM Secretariat in Georgetown, Guyana, Dr. Burnett urged ministers of trade to fully utilize the treaty's rules and flexibilities, particularly in sensitive issues. She highlighted progress in key areas, including the implementation of approved worker categories under the Free Movement of Skills regime within the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, or CSME. Quote, the framers of the revised treaty carefully balanced the common interests of the community with those of member states, Dr. Barnett noted. Quote, their vision was not to create winners and losers, but to foster a community that advances trade, investment, production integration, and development for all, end quote. Chair of the meeting, Senator the Honorable Paula Gopi Schoon, Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Trade and Industry, outlined the extensive two-day agenda. Discussions include the free movement of community nationals, the revised draft policy on the regulation of mergers and acquisitions, trade in goods, and the community intellectual property framework. External trade matters such as developments from the 13th WTO Ministerial Conference and CARICOM Colombia negotiations are also under review. Quote, our role in COTED is vital to addressing single market, trade, and economic development issues central to our community's agenda, said Gopi Schoon. The meeting concludes today, Thursday, November 28th, 2024. In international news, President-elect Donald Trump claimed progress in curbing illegal migration through Mexico after discussions with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Wednesday. Trump announced that Sheinbaum had agreed to stop migration through Mexico, framing the conversation as a win. However, Sheinbaum shared a different perspective, stating on social media that Mexico is already addressing migrant caravans, emphasizing the nation's stance to, quote, build bridges rather than close borders. The dialogue followed Trump's threat to impose tariffs on Mexico and Canada as part of his broader crackdown on illegal immigration and drug trafficking. While the status of the proposed tariffs remain uncertain, Trump lauded the talks as productive, highlighting his strategy of leveraging trade threats to achieve policy goals. Mexican authorities have stepped up to intercept migrants, contributing to a 40% drop in arrivals at the U.S.-Mexico border since December. Experts note that Mexico's strategy often involves relocating migrants to its southern regions to discourage further attempts to reach the U.S. Trump also announced plans for anti-fentanyl public awareness campaign, tying the drug crisis to his proposed tariffs. These include a 25% tax on goods from Mexico and Canada and additional tariffs on China. While Trump's approach has stirred financial markets, critics warn that implementing tariffs could disrupt trade and impact the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, which underpins economic cooperation in North America. In other international news, India's parliament faced a third day of disruptions on Thursday as opposition parties demanded government accountability regarding allegations against billionaire Gautam Adani. Adani was recently indicted in the U.S. for alleged fraud and bribery related to a solar project in India. Opposition members, led by the Congress Party, accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government for shielding Adani and called for a joint parliamentary probe into his companies. Parliamentary sessions in both houses were adjourned amid protests. The U.S. indictment alleges Adani and associates paid $265 million in bribes to Indian officials, accusations dismissed by Adani's group as baseless. Meanwhile, international scrutiny mounts, with Kenya, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh reevaluating deals with the conglomerate. Critics say the Modi government's silence signals tactic support for Adani, whose business ties span key infrastructure and energy sectors. And now for the weather. Present weather is partly cloudy skies with showers in the vicinity. Winds are east at 9 to 21 miles per hour. The temperature today is 27 degrees Celsius or 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet, with northerly swells up to 1.5 meters or 5 feet. A high surf advisory is in effect, mainly for the Atlantic-facing coastline. Weather forecast for today will be mostly cloudy with periods of passing showers, and tonight will be partly cloudy with periods of passing showers. Sunset today will be at 5:35 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:23 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Scotty Hendrickson.